What's going on, everybody? Um, it's hot, real hot. So I've been doing a lot of night fishing, and it's been kind of tough to get y'all good footage out there on the water at nighttime. Still trying to work out some kinks as far as getting good night footage. But I figured today I'd bring you a little how-to video on something I think as anglers we should all probably be able to do, especially when you use and abuse equipment like I do. Okay, as a co-angler and a kayak angler, I don't have a whole lot of rods. I have enough rods to be able to change it up on the water. You can't really carry that many rods that often, but I've got enough to get through, right? So with that said, I don't get free rods, so it's good to know how to repair them, right? If you're gonna break your rods, you're gonna break guides. If you fish as much as I do, or anyone else who's really into bass fishing, you're gonna break rods. So I'm just gonna do a little, probably 2-part video on how to repair some guides on your rods. All right, so let's get to it. So here we have our little rod building station, right? And here's the rod I'm actually going to be replacing. I know it's a little messy right now. I was working on one not too long ago, trying to fix it up, right? So first thing we're going to go over is how to remove the old guides, right? So I'm gonna go ahead, hopefully it's not too bright. Right here is one of the guides I'm replacing, and I'm also going to be replacing the tip top guide. All right, the tools you're going to need. All right, tools you're going to need: heat gun, utility knife, and a lighter, or in my case, I've got this little fancy alcohol burner, right? I like the alcohol burner. It's used whenever you're trying to get the bubbles out of your epoxy, or singe some of the threads when you're wrapping. And I use that what is it, denatured alcohol. Use denatured alcohol. It's clean burning and it doesn't leave any soot or sediment in the epoxy. All right, so those are things you're going to need, and we're going to get to it. The first things first, right? And you don't want to rush this process, but you need to get your heat gun going, right? The heat gun is going to help loosen up the old epoxy on your rod, to allow you to easily strip the blanks off of it, right? So what we're going to do, like I said, you just want to be super careful with it, right? If you leave the heat on it too long, you can, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like warp, or I guess basically burn the graphite, and basically you'll lose all the strength in your rod and possibly snap it in half. So you just want to be careful. So what I like to do is I like to run a little bit of heat on it like so. I like to wave it around so I'm not heating up one spot of the rod, right? So just kind of heat it like so, set it down, grab the blade, and I just peel the old epoxy off, right? You want to be careful during this process as well, because if you go too far down, you're going to cut into your blank. You do not want to cut into the blank. Any kind of nicks will pretty much destroy the integrity and the strength of your rod. So like I said, just be nice and gentle. It's not a fast process. You just got to be kind of slow with it, all right? So I'll go ahead and get this off and show you what it looks like. One more tool I forgot to mention is permanent marker, right? Before I strip all the epoxy off, I want to mark my spine, and I want to mark a position where the guide sits on the rod, right? To make sure I have it in the same place when I go put the new guide on, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the spine, which is somewhere right in here. I'm just gonna mark it with permanent marker, right? And you're probably wondering, you know, oh no, a permanent marker. If you're into aesthetics, it's gonna leave on here. I'm sure it's not that hard to get permanent marker off, but at this point, if you're having to repair your guide, you probably shouldn't really be worried too much about aesthetics because your rod's already been through the ringer, right? So you probably can't see it. I got a black mark right there where my guide's gonna line up, and a black mark right on top of the spine of the rod, right? Okay. Now you see we got the guide off, all right? So now it's all about just cleaning it up, right? All you're gonna do is you're gonna strip it off, the rest of it, with your razor or with your utility knife, and use fine grit sandpaper to clean it up and get the rest of the small stuff off. The tip guide, all right, the tip top guide, right? So same concept. I want to mark my spine and have an idea, right, of where I'm going to line it. You won't be able to see it, but it'll be there and you'll have a reference. And it's the same concept. All you're going to do is pick up your heat gun, shoot the heat gun over it, use your utility knife, and scrape off that epoxy and those threads. So hopefully you can see, right? All I did, took my torch, lit it on fire, and I just ran it across the tip top guide less than a second after I already cleaned that thread and that epoxy off. And I used my pliers. Always use your pliers. Don't grab with your hands because it's hot. I just grabbed them and I had it on for less than a second and it pulled right off. Okay, so with that said, that is how you remove your guides, right? Oh, one thing else, sandpaper, right? Sand that stuff right off. You ain't gotta go hard, all right? You just want to lightly sand it. You get all that excess epoxy, clean it up the best you can. Once you get it clean, right, with that sandpaper, you just grab you some more of that alcohol, grab you like a microfiber or even, I don't know, some soft fabric or something, and just go over it one good time, and you're good. There you go. That's how you prep your rods to put new guides on them. Part 2 will be out soon.